Hello, my name is Sarah. Welcome to the It is a Sarah podcast. In this week's episode, I want to bring you with me in my daily knitting life. I am working at my 50 stripe shawl right now. It's a colorwork shawl design by a Dutch designer. It will actually be a cowl shawl. I know now, brown now, cowl. It was my plan to knit one stripe every day. And I calculated if I would do that, it would be finished on March 10. It didn't happen, as you probably can see. One stripe a day was a little bit too much. It are small stripes, but there's so much going on my needles that I don't knit one stripe every day. And that's perfectly fine. I would have loved to see it as a finished object so I could wear it. It is half March right now. We had some very warm spring weather and spring and summer, they are close. Winter is almost over and I don't wear shawls like this in summer. So, I cannot get anywhere out of it in this season, probably, but I do have a lot of HeartJumping knitting moments still. I think this is the perfect projects to have on your needles forever because it's bringing so much joy, just those tiny colorwork stripes. Not hard to do, but very satisfying. Something I don't find very satisfying is winding my yarn, turning my skeins into yarn cakes, but it is pretty inevitable. That's a new to me word. I practiced. So I try to embrace it anyway. Today I want to cake up the last skeins for my Bits and Bobs blanket. These are the leftovers from my Advent 2024 and now I'm winding a very big skein of Dundaga yarn. It is undyed, a natural shade. I think it is 200 grams and it just fits on my yarn winder. It's a very big cake and I think that's satisfying. The big cake. I love big cake, as well in yarn as in cake. I alternate my yarn winding with picking buttons for my newest skirt. When I don't take a break in between the yarn winding, my arm will hurt and I really want to finish it today. So I think this is the perfect moment to do this task as well. I don't really love sewing buttons as well, so I both of those tasks I really wanted to be done today. So I'm in a good mood, so that's okay. I picked some lovely buttons out of my button basket, and now I will divide them. I have this tool. Oh no, we go to the yarn first. I have this little tin, I guess, filled with all the reinforcing yarn which comes into the long yarn Shawl sock yarn. I use it quite often for sewing my buttons. I'm searching for the right shade, but I think the first try was the best one, so put away the tin, Sarah. You already have the good shade. My buttons are quite dark with a little bit of brown on the inside, so I have a very dark brown yarn, and I think the match is perfect. Yes. I have this great tool for dividing buttons. I saw it once at my knitting friend Marlene from the podcast Sunny Sea Knits. I had no idea what it was, and she explained how it worked, and it is so easy and helpful. I bought it at an online fabric shop. Yeah, it really makes your button divide life easier. As you can see, I marked the spots where I want the buttons to be with stitch markers, so I can bring my skirt with me downstairs to sew the buttons on. And I didn't film it, but I can tell you that they are on my skirt. The task is completed. Also, the yarn winding job is done. I'm very satisfied that I tackled these tasks, which I was postponing a little bit. Beautiful shades of purple turning into brown, which I actually prefer. I can't wait to add them to my blanket. I will go on a knitting trip with some friends with a lot of knitting, a lot of chatting, and visiting some yarn shops. And I want to bring my Bits and Bobs blanket with me because I really prefer to work on easy projects during those kind of social things. And I want to finish that blanket. So I think it's the perfect knitting for a nice chatty weekend. In the weekend, I went on a trip with my knitting friends. It's always a heart jumping thing when you can spend a whole weekend with some very lovely ladies who completely understand the love for knitting and crocheting. Halfway through, we stopped at the most cutest, smallest yarn shop I ever visited, I guess. This is Atelier LindeLicht. It is based in a cabin in the garden of its owner. Her name is Marianne, and she started her company many years ago. She designed some beautiful felted hand-sewn lights, which she used for her season tables, for her kits, Waldorf inspired, and she started making kits for other people so they could make them as well. And later she also started with hand dyeing her own yarns. And she decided to make this little cabin into a garden, fill it with the most beautiful things so people can visit it if they want to. And she also you can also find her at knitting events if you want to. She sells a lot of yarns right there. But today it was her birthday. She turned 65. It was very special. We were allowed to visit her on her birthday, and we definitely ate some pie. That's a Dutch tradition, but I think it is very similar in other countries. When it's your birthday, you eat pie. We were very happy we could visit her, but she turned 65 and she really wants to slow down a bit, and also she wants to create more knitting time, so she will slowly decrease her activities, but she is very happy with her yarn dyeing, so she won't quit that. So if you ever visit the Netherlands, and especially the northern part, please take a look on Marianne's website. I will link it down below in the show notes. She is open on Saturdays, and I think you can also make an appointment just like we did. In the middle of her shop, there's a table, and you can sit right there and look around you, see all the beautiful yarns. She has the most beautiful color bases, and the names are based on all the gemstones. I really love that. We spent quite some hours chatting, finding the most beautiful yarns, learning a lot from Marianne, and going further on our trip with our bags filled with the most beautiful stuff. Next day, we visited another yarn shop, which is called Selden Sá. It is based in an old cafe building, which makes it very special because you have the feeling you are going for a drink, but there's also yarn. I think that's the dream of every knitter. It's very cozy and there is a lot of space to sit and chat with your friends. We spent quite some hours in this shop as well, because there's all the yarn, all the combination, all the lovely samples, all the information, all the colors. It was really a heart jumping visit as well. The shop owner Nienke is a lovely lady with a lot of knowledge, and also not only about yarn, also about people. So it was very inspiring to talk with her. I visited this shop once before a few years ago when we stayed here on a camping place. There is a lovely camping place not far from here, and it was very nice to come here again. And of course, we didn't go home empty-handed. I really love it when a yarn shop has the right space and the right atmosphere to spend some hours, because I think it is so inspiring to spend time in a yarn shop. It is as if the creative frequency is different from when you are home alone. Of course, I was together with friends, but also all the yarn, all the possibilities, all the samples. There were some other customers who were very inspiring. It is just a very special place to stay, and I like it when I can have a longer stay. As you can see, I am trying on a beautiful cardigan. It's from a Dutch designer. It is called the Kiruna cardigan. I will link it down below. And I already saw it on Nienke's Instagram page, but I thought, let's try it on. And it was very inspiring to try a cardigan with a very different fit and very different color than I normally pick for myself. And I felt a little sparkle deep down in my belly that something in this cardigan was really resonating with me. And I think that's a good thing. I already have seen it online, but by seeing it in reality and being able to have a fit, it's really a very good and almost necessary opportunity. Normally, when you have a fit in a clothing store, you can try all the things on, but with knitting, you need to knit it before you can do a fit check. And it's very nice when a knitting shop has some samples. It's also very nice when you are with a friend, saying lovely things, inspiring things, marking all the spots she liked on me in this cardigan, which I didn't see myself. So that is also a HeartJumping thing. I really love it when you are welcome in a yarn shop to spend a longer time, because it is a HeartJumping activity, seeing your friends grabbing yarn all over the place, everyone getting all the ideas. We are all yarn addicts, and it's nice to share that feeling. There's also a place to sit and knit, to process all the experiences. And I must confess, I was very inspired to ask some advice on to get some advice from Nienke, the shop owner. This is Evelien. It was a customer, a very happy customer in a beautiful cardigan, and we accidentally met in the shop, and she told me Nienke is the best person to give you some advice, because she can really see you, your knitting needs, but also your personal needs. I think when you can hug your yarn shop owner this way, you are a lucky person. So I wanted that advice as well. Although it was absolutely not my plan, I suddenly felt the need for a second sock cardigan myself as well. I knitted one a few years ago and I am fixing it at the moment. It's an all-over bottom-up colorwork cardigan with a raglan fit. And that's a little bit a part of the problem. I don't think the raglan fit is the perfect fit for me. And also I made it a little bit on the small side. So when I saw the beautiful cardigan from the customer Evelien, I thought I want some color advice from Nienke as well. I'm very curious what color she would pick for me, and I want to enjoy that process as well. I actually never ask for color advice. I always know what I want. I am quite steady. I am not really doubting, I guess, and I also don't really like to receive some advice or help. But I was really open for going out of my comfort zone. I was fitting the blue cardigan, and there was a sparkle in me which told me, go for it, Sarah. It is nice when you know your own way, but I like to get out of my comfort zone every now and then as well. So I was really enjoying this part of the process, and we are pretty safe with the brown color. And I was thinking of some bright pink or maybe a bright orange for some contrast, but Nienke had other ideas. I don't know yet, but she will dive into the blue corner. And I thought, oh no, the blue? I was not so sure about that. I must confess I look a little bit troubled over here. That's for the reason I intended to buy what Nienke would suggest. I thought it would be a nice challenge, a little bit of a game, going out of your comfort zone. But this suggestion was quite, far out of my comfort zone. The bright blue and the bright orange reminded me of a kingfisher, and I really love that little tiny bird. But I don't know if that's really. I love the color combination as well, but not really on me, I guess. So I let go my idea that I would buy blind what Nienke would suggest, but I put some Sarah sauce over it. And that was also, Nienke told me it's very important that what you pick is hard jumping to you, because knitting a garment is very time consuming, and it's very important that the chance it will make you happy is the biggest, because otherwise you won't feel good, and that's not what she wants. So she is explaining me the things about picking colors, especially in color work, because it's very important there's quite some contrast. I know that rule, and I also understand why it is a rule, but I also love going against the rules, I guess. And I love some low contrast as well. So I changed the brighter colors for some darker colors. I did stay in the blue, so I will show you in a minute. And I think it's feeling more comfortable. There is a chance there's not enough contrast for my colorwork cardigan, but on the other side, yeah, maybe there is. I love low contrast, so we will see how it will work out. We spent all afternoon in the shop, and I think we had an absolutely hard jumping day, and we went home with our bags filled with all the yarn, and it was a good thing. So we said goodbye to Nienke, and I walked back to the house with one of my friends. We booked a beautiful big house on a walking distance from the shop, and that was really a good idea, and it was really a nice feeling staying so close to a beautiful woolly place. The rest of the weekend was filled with a lot of knitting and a lot of chatting. I really love to spend some time with friends I don't see quite often in daily life, because we live all over the place. And it was a hard jumping thing to be together for a longer time. We had a beautiful house. It was quite close to a small river. I didn't film much in the weekend. I was not really feeling the motivation for it. It was really a social weekend, but look at this view. It was absolutely a lovely place. Back home, I unpacked my new yarn and enjoyed the feeling of the weekend, which is also catched into the yarn. I know a lot of people have the same experience when you buy a specific yarn on a specific moment, or a specific place, or with specific people. It is catched into the yarn, that feeling, and I love it. It will remind me when I am knitting with it of this weekend. So that is really nice. I must confess, I have bought quite some yarn the past months, and I'm completely okay with that, but I have the weird and unfamiliar feeling that I am slowly getting satisfied. I did not know that was an option, but I think I have enough right now. I really feel the need for knitting with all my yarn, and I don't really have plans to visit another shop in the near future. I definitely will, because I really love buying yarn and also showing the beautiful work, the hardworking yarn shop owners. So I definitely will, but for now it is enough. I will show you what I've bought. This is a beautiful yarn. It's a yak silk combination. I bought it at LindeLicht. It's not hand dyed, but it's black. And I really love the feeling of it. And also the black. I don't own a lot of black items, but I love wearing them. This is a beautiful blue faced Leicester. This one is hand dyed and it's called to the gemstone Peter Seat, but that's Dutch. I never heard of it, so I need to search for it. Its meaning. This is some yarn you can mend your socks with. That was a gift from Marianne to all of us, and I really love sock mending. I think it's a thing you don't need to think about it. It's more practical if you love it, when you love it. This yarn I bought at Selden Sá. This is a Novita sock yarn, a DK weight yarn, but I really love the color combination and I want to make a garment for my little niece. She is really happy with her bright pink socks, and I love knitting for her. So I love the combination of the pink and the brown and the yellow and the white. So just a simple sweater, I guess. Oh yes, I bought a cone. You need cones in your life. Collecting cones is a hobby. This is Holst Coast, a blend of cotton and wool, also in black. I want to knit more black because I love wearing black. And this color combination I bought for my sock cardigan. It is all Rauma Fino in the dark brown and the black. And let me see, a dark blue. I don't think I ever knitted with that color. And also a little beige color, a rusty brown and a grey bluish for a color pop. It's not really an exciting color pop, although it is blue, so it is exciting for me. It is out of my comfort zone, but in a safe way, not in a kingfisher way. So I'm really curious if it will work out, if the contrast will not be too low, and how it will look. So I will keep you updated. So that was it for this week, a little short video. It was a busy week, but I really love bringing you with me to those special stores in the northern part of the Netherlands. It's absolutely a beautiful part of our country. So if you have plans to visit it, don't skip this part. Thank you for watching, thank you for being here, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!